everybody. This is James DeBow on Discovering Season 3 on Big Condo Online. And we got a special guest in today, Mr. Chase Johnston-Lynch. How you doing, my brother?
What's up, James? Glad to be back here on your show, even though, I never left. But
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you asking me to come on to your show.
Well, it's important that I do this interview. When I first started out on Big Condo Online, or Big Condo Radio was called then, I started off with Chase interviewing me, and growing a great relationship with Chase, giving me own show. And today I thought I'm going to interview Chase because there's a lot of questions I need to ask him. He's got a long timeline. He's born in Ohio, and then when he was young, he grown up in New York from age 3. So we're going to
raised in Harlem, bro.
Raised in Harlem, and I'm a New York as far as when it comes to music, hip hop. I love the New York anyway. But let's deal with your timeline first of all, Chase Johnston-Lynch. So how did it begin? Getting into these arts, music, a writer, filmmaker. Where did it begin? All this, was it from when you were in school? You was getting into this kind of.
Growing up in the 70s, I always was into television. Cartoons, TV. I didn't talk much. Probably, could have been classified as SEN back then, which they didn't do. They didn't classify people that then, so I was one of those quiet ones. But then, obviously, starting to absorb books. I started to write short stories and horror stories and everything like that, and I just felt I think I want to do this. I think I want to do this for a living, even though I was going to school and I was moving towards being an electrical engineer. I just started change my course. And, I wanted to become a writer. So when I got to college, as you do, right, you get to the communications course or whatever, and the teacher really just shows you the equipment and just says, go forth and do. I'm like,
wow.
You look around and go, I got my pad and my pen. What do you mean? You're not going to teach me anything. So self-starting or self-learning, as they self-taught learning, I had to do. And so having the cameras, the lights, and everything else like that, I had to train myself. It's how to make stuff based upon what I saw on television. You get me, So it's hey, I could just do a soap opera, or I can do a drama, that's probably overacted. But then what was great is that I started just cutting pictures together from films, and and then I like to say, because you got to realize it just was the beginning, the dawn of MTV when I got to college.
Wow.
So it was MTV had just started, and I was it would have started maybe a year later, right? But it was kind of at that point, I was looking at all these videos, and I was I can make that too.
When we say MTV, we go to the early
1980,
80s.
bro.
Yeah,
MTV came out in 1980. I'm talking about when, it was cable had only just started. And everything. You asked me to go back, bro.
Yeah.
Cable had just started, and everything like that. And so we had 24-hour music video channel. Wow. And I'm looking at these, Britpop, songs and videos and everything. And I'm loving the way the images just flash back and forth and everything. But then I started to realize that there's a storyline going on here. So because I was a writer and I was writing shorts and stuff like that, it's I was putting 2 and 2 together and everything. So it's I believe that was the dawn of my visualness.
Yeah. So as we're moving further into the 80s now, you've graduated.
Yeah.
You've obviously, you build up experience now, aren't you?
Yeah.
You've learned how to write and do many different things. So now where are we moving from here? Are we moving into the filmmaking, or are we moving into the music? Which chronological order are you going to take me in?
So basically, I still always wanted to be a writer.
Yeah.
And I was still kind of writing shorts and everything. And so when I got out of school and, jobs, I had to do all the jobs that people do, like messenger and all that other kind of stuff. What you go to school for, you would think. But there was a thing, Spike Lee had made She's Gotta Have It. And this really blew everybody's minds. You gotta imagine, you're from here, but you gotta imagine being from New York when She's Gotta Have It came out.
Okay.
right? You growing up watching movies, and like you might see Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby in Uptown Saturday Night, Let's Do It Again, and all that. You see the blaxploitation films like Fred Williamson and Jim Brown, and everything. I could be a hero like Jim Kelly, but this kid from Brooklyn, and I went to Brooklyn Tech, so he grew up on Fort Greene as well. I didn't know him, but I'm just trying to say he was from Brooklyn, and that means he was like me, and he made this big movie and stuff, and then he made School Days, and it's like, other artists started to think we need to kind of like work together. We need to collaborate. Kind of like the Liverpool Black Music Group, where it's like we need to come together.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
and this is what they decided to do. So you got people like Spike. You got people like Robert Townsend, who did Hollywood Shuffle. You got
amazing movie that.
Whoa, that's a great movie. And then you got the Hutland brothers, who did House Party.
House Party,
right?
One.
And everything. And so they combined together to create what was called the Black Filmmaker Foundation. And they just asked for people to write up CVs and everything. But obviously, if you don't have much experience, what we're going to do is we're going to have kind of like a Saturday workshop at NYU. So you've heard of NYU, right? NYU. It's like a famous art school, the Tisch School, and everything like that. Spike went to NYU and everything. And so remember, so this is like around 89. And like in that aspect is that, we still wasn't really getting much. We had like the Crying Game going on, for the Good or something like that. But we had those films. So these brothers was willing, as famous as they were, to come in and kind of like run classes. And so I'm still this quiet kid, as I just said I was. I had all my scripts and everything. So I would take a bag, right, like a suitcase kind of thing. I sit there in a circle. But I was so shy, or I didn't talk or whatever, that like I just sat there every week, waiting, for some kind of miracle and everything. And, Warrington Hutland just kind of like looked at me at one point and says, "What about you?" It's like being seen, I don't know if you ever know about that moment and stuff. And I pulled down the script, and like, I'm like, okay, well, this is about, I don't know why, and I'm just trying to get it right. It's about a girl gets raped, and he's like, "What? Why would you do that?" I mean, I'm just trying to. And so he said, "How about this? How about it's about a guy that gets raped? What? How about you play the guy? What?"
No. Yeah.
What?
Straight no.
What am I supposed to do? Say no? But I'll tell you what, it broke me out of my comfort zone, because he was trying to like say like predictability, and like writing like, and he was trying to get me to, be conscious of like what you as a writer or even as a filmmaker are asking actors to do.
Okay.
And it really kind of like broke me out of like, because I was writing horror stories, killing people and all that kind of stuff. Whatever, bro. We all have darkness. But now you have to play that, and it really flipped the switch for me.
Right. Okay.
So
this is 1989. We're talking.
Yeah. So that's when I really got into the love of filmmaking and education, trying to and get started and stuff and everything. So so that's where it kind of like began for me. And also early in that period, it was public access television. You ever heard of public access television?
Public access no.
So public access television is like free TV, right?
Okay.
It's kind of like pay $25 and you can have a TV show on at midnight, right?
Yeah,
We'll put it on before Midnight Blue or something like that, or
Okay,
Ugly George, which are like kind of early like porn stuff. But anyway, you could buy yourself a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And so like it was in that like, again with the music, I created a female VJ show, right? But we did it about the music industry. So we would visit like Atlantic Records and Uptown, Puff Daddy, all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I felt like, hey, that was the way in. Just get some, like females to go in and interview people and stuff like that. And so it was from there that I felt that Well, I'm a producer, so you asked me about that. So I'm producing this show, I'm writing the show. So we needed a director, right? So I did just automatically think, well, why not me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know confidence, but I think I'm more like Tonto than a Lone Ranger, if you get me. I like kind of like working with people, like more in that level, but I guess that's me. So I hired this director, Dwayne Perryman III, and like he was a first AD, which I never heard of before, and he worked for a famous music video director named Marcus Nispel, and he was doing CNC Music Factory, George Michael. I was like, now I'm supposed to be his boss, but I'm like, hey, can I come with you? Because he's like, I'm going back to work now. This was fun, little public access thing.
Yeah.
Going back to work now. Can I come? You know, I was like that. And that's how I got into the business.
Okay. So now, how far are we away from the music? Father's dealing with the...
You mean the Wu-Tang?
The Wu-Tang, you know, the Army favorite group.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So we're only basically. So me and Dwayne, Lone Ranger and Tonto, right, start making music videos and everything, and but like I had to combine all my skills. So I combined my writing, right, to my visualness, and I would write all of his treatments, right?
Yep.
And everything. Now, this was something that, like, it's amazing where, like, you would think, you just think somebody says, oh, I'm going to make a music video, here's a song, and I'm just going to do it. And the deal is that that's not the case. It was easy and not, right? Because, like, so here's the thing, right? So what you have to do is, any artist, you pick any artist, like the Fugees or Busta Rhymes or anybody like that, you say you like all those guys, right?
Yep.
I'm writing treatments for them, right? Now, what will happen is that, like, they got a new song coming out, and...
Sorry, do you say you write songs? You a ghostwriter?
No, treatments. So, thank you for making me clarify. No, treatments is the outline for the video.
Oh, okay.
Right? No, I don't write songs. I don't sing either.
Yeah.
But it was for all those famous people. It was like, man, oh my God, you could do it. My point is, so all those record labels, they're like, you know, like they're in New York. And what they do is that, like, all of those artists has like a media budget, right? So in that fashion is that they can spend anywhere from $50,000, right, to $300,000, dollars for 2 days' work. Yeah? But what they have to do is they have to hire a production company, and that company has to submit a treatment. So you got a song and you say, okay, so what are you going to do for that? So a lot of directors were out there going, man, I can't write that. I could just only direct. Well, Dwayne had a guy who can write that. So I'm just sitting in there going, this is the song, right? And then I write like, a 3-paragraph treatment, beginning, middle, and end. And I submit it. So basically, people were getting my treatments. And even if they didn't like pick the song, right? It's like, hey, yeah, here's another treatment from this Chase guy. Do you know what I mean? And like that would get out. I mean, that would get around and stuff. Because I would be like, vampires, aliens. You know what I mean? I'm not going to just say, hey, guy walks into a bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these would be outlines of stories based upon these songs. So then there'll be those moments that we get the track. So if we get that song, you're making a lot more money than being a messenger. You get me?
Yeah.
So like we were doing well. So this went on for a couple of years and everything. So then what happened is that we had a bad video experience down in Florida because we would travel as well, right? But I come to the office and our boss says, some guy named Justice is looking for you, right? I don't know who the hell Justice is, right?
Sid Justice.
No.
No, I'm joking.
The Jizza is also known as Justice.
Yeah.
So like another partner that we had, who became my new partner, he's like, I know who he is. Grabs the number. He says, come with me, right? Now, this is somebody, he going to climb, right?
Yeah.
And so we go down to a payphone when we used to do that, right? And calls up Justice and everything. And he's like, somebody sent me this video and I want to make videos. I heard that you do that. Who, me? Right? Now, this is not illegal. I just want you to understand. It's kind of like you're a treatment writer. I know you say ghostwriter. But then I also was a first AD producer. So I had a production company, right, and everything, and I was doing that. So Genius needed that because he knew that all he wanted to do was direct, and he kept getting people sending him the tracks. So if he gets me to write those treatments, boom, we're doing. So that's when it started going for me because that's when I was able to leave that company. So this was like around 90. It's like around 95, 94, 95.
So Wu-Tang are already well established as a group.
Yes.
36 Chambers, I know about 1993 when it came out. So during the 36 Chambers, 93, had you met RZA by this time or?
No. So so like you said, they were out. But see, what it was that Wu-Tang, like, I want to equate them to like Soul Solid Crew, even though Soul Solid Crew shouldn't be equated to Wu-Tang. But you know about Soul Solid Crew.
I do. I used to listen to them a lot.
So what they did was they did the Wu-Tang model. So RZA came up with the Wu-Tang model. So his thing was,
Mega Man, who was their producer, weren't you? Yeah.
Well, Method Man, Ghostface, he was like, everybody go off individually to different record labels, but then we'll be at one record label as Wu-Tang. Then we all eat off of each other, right? Then Genius said, well, wait a minute, hold on for a second. Who's getting the money from this video, right? Because the record label is just giving me my kind of like media fee. But who's getting all that money when the video costs $100,000 or so, right? So like they're like, well, the production company gets it. And the director of that production goes, how much the director gets? The director gets 10%. And he's like, 10%? Of $100,000, that's like $10,000. I want that. I want to direct. But you can't, Genius. You can't. First, you need a production company. And then what? You can't, and so that's when he went looking. So who am I going to get, right, to be the company to see that? So in that fashion is that, so again, that's still perfectly legal, right, and everything. And I just got lucky because I was that guy. I was that guy, that rumor in the wind, right, that like somebody writes treatments. So all I had to do was write treatments, have a production company, and then we're all living. So he gets his percentage and I get mine.
How difficult is it to start up a production company? Is it
it's too easy?
It's too easy. It sounds hard. I would sound like, but
to do the work is hard. To set up the company is easy. So like, it's like, I mean, legally you set up a company. It's like kind of like here you go to company's house and all that kind of stuff. It's the same thing where you set up a LLC, like a limited company, guarantee and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But like the whole deal is though you got a company. What it is that they can't pay you, James, to, like $100,000, right? And you put it into your bank account. Okay. It's just not legal.
Okay.
Right? So, like, in that fashion is that, so they pay a company, and the company has to, like, pay out the percentages to all the various different people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's like, so at the above the line, you have the director, you have the producer, and then you have the company that is paying all the fees.
Okay, yeah.
You see what I mean? Yeah. So it's three sets of monies. So like in that fashion is it's a win-win situation. So so then it was the Beneath the Surface album. So if you actually know that, it was around that time that we started working with him. But we were actually, how should we say? We were actually doing videos for other people. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just said, like people be fans and they want Genius to do a video for them.
Right.
So like MOP or a group called The Graveyards, you heard of MOP, right? Teflon.
MOP, yeah.
Blaze. Oh, yeah, well, yeah. MOP. So we did Teflon's first video and everything like that. And we even did a video with Jay-Z and Teflon, 4-Alarm Blaze and everything. So that's why I said, work with all these people. So like in that fashion is that now I'm going from nothing, public access, to like, big oodles of thing. But I'm still in the background. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Right? It's like Steven Spielberg gets all the credit, but nobody talks about Kathleen Kennedy or Frank Marshall, his producers, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everything. So it was cool. It was cool to be in the background. I didn't mind.
Some of the other artists of New York, did you ever work with Nas or Mobb Deep, anyone like that?
Right. So, I mean, like, because of New York, like I said, is small. I mean, they knew all of these people.
Yeah.
Like Nas, DJ Premier, Gangstar, they all hung out like at a particular place called like D&D Records and stuff like that. And like, so I remember, watching Annie up, set that fool, and all that kind of stuff with them, But I didn't do a video with Nas. No. So
met Nas in Holland. I had a good little conversation with
Have
Nas.
you?
Yeah. He's with the Damian Marley when he was doing the tour.
Yeah.
Got to meet him and that.
But I mean, like the thing, see, that's the crazy thing though, because like when I was at D&D, there was another artist. Have you ever heard of Afu Ra?
Afu Ra.
Yeah. And everything. So Afu Ra was a kung fu kind of like rapper and everything like that. But he did it.
Did he do a tune called "Playing Yourself"? It wasn't that guy.
I don't know if he did "Playing Yourself," but we did a video for him called "Defeat," right? Where it was like a first kung fu video, and then he's like, yeah, man, I want to get down with Genius. So he did a track called Big Axe, Little Axe with Genius.
Yeah.
And everything. So it's like, they're in like a big wrestling ring and everything. And because concept-wise, right, I put him against like 3 special fighters. So you got Iron Fist, right, with the big tattoo that I got on him and thing. You got Conan the Barbarian, right? This guy, he's all pasted up, looking like Conan the Barbarian. And then you got that big sumo wrestler. I just seen him recently.
Yokozuna.
Yeah, the big 300-pound black guy.
Oh no, actually, I thought you were about Yokozuna, the Japanese guy.
Oh no! I just saw him on UFC about a couple of weeks ago. Man, I can't remember his name, but he's like a big 300 to 500-pound black guy. And I can't believe he's still alive. Wow. But he was in the fight ring with you gotta look at that Big Axe, Little Axe. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And everything like that. But yeah, so so that's when my experience with D&D. But then again, is that I also got to work with Alicia Keys.
Wow, amazing.
And like now,
great artist.
This is when Fallen was coming out.
Fallen.
Remember her first song?
Oh yeah.
Come on, off of Butterfly.
Days.
Well, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
She was still a kid then, right? Because basically my editor, had worked for her management, and we didn't get to do the video for Fallen, but Alicia wanted to get into movies. So this was kind of like my bid to get back into making film stuff. This is kind of like before I came here. This is like
you kind of go back and forth, don't you? You might be into your movies, then you might go into music, then you might go back into that. Is that?
Well, yeah. Well, the music.
You're all of that.
Yeah, well, the music was the job.
Yeah.
Making music videos became a job because I was like good at that. But I always wanted to make films, but I had to pay for that myself. So that's kind of like probably why I don't have a house out in the world, because it was like a matter of I would go make a music video, get all of this money, and then go blow it on a film, right? Because I remember renting a house out in the Poconos and spending about $10,000 in one weekend, and on a horror film that I wrote. And one of my actors had an asthma attack on the first night.
Wow, what an experience.
Terrible experience.
Yeah.
Film, terrible. So anyway, but Alicia wanted to make movies, and I was the first AD on her film. But then what happened was that we shot that, and then they cut it. But she was under Clive Davis at Elektra Records, and she was about to drop with Fallen, and I think he saw a piece of it and wanted it buried. So if somebody could find it, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Or playing the game. Right?
Yeah.
But so but I think that was around the end before I came here.
So when you came here now, first of all, I want to go through it's a privilege as far as being involved in your music and producing and stuff. being growing up in New York, it must have been a big privilege to deal with rappers, you know, the film industry. You know, that's a privilege in itself. You know, I mean, when I think of the artists,
depends on you're a fan.
Artist. Okay, hip hop artists, for example. When we're talking about people like Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, you know, these are people. Cool G Rap. These are New York's finest, going back from the 80s. These are the, I call them, as far as being rhymers, they had that delivery. I call them assassins when it comes to rhyming. That's how serious they take it, you know. So I've always appreciated those. And then the people who come in the 90s, I'm raised on the 90s a bit more. So the privilege of being raised in New York, if you were raised in LA, could you see a difference?
Oh well, no,
with what you do.
I mean, there's a definite difference. I mean, like the thing about it is that see the shame of it is like there's some people whose legend still lives today, like Wu-Tang. Yeah. You're talking about guys who I know, right? But their legends don't actually live. And then I worked with other guys like PMD, Large Professor, all these other rappers who I thought was fantastic, and it was great doing those jobs. But then again, it's like, you know, they're not legendary. I mean, that's why I said, like, if you look at, you know, the videos, or I have like a whole list of the videos I worked on, and everything, you say, oh, wow, you know, it's like, you know, that's all cool, but then I never heard of them. That doesn't mean that they're not good. And then a lot of them, you know, because of like what I was doing, a lot of them have like that connection to Wu-Tang, you know, and everything, because, you know, I had a connection with that, you know, so it was kind of like, it was really good because, again, you're talking about that New York vibe, you know, in the 90s, it was so narrative then, you know, I mean, like the videos were like, there was a lot more, like we had the equipment, right? Technology wasn't booming into the whole special effects thing, but you had a lot of storytelling in those videos.
Definitely.
And when you see those cities like those Brooklyn, you know, steps and you know, the city street, Queensbridge, all of that, you know, it's phenomenal to work in those kind of areas and everything. I mean, the scariest thing really, and it wasn't really scary, but it was just because I was the first AD, I had to encounter the friends of the artist. Okay. So, you know, like the entourage.
The entourage, yeah.
So like it would be like I would always like, I mean, I like to think I'm a good communicator, right? But a lot of times I had to just go, hey, can you just keep back and turn my back on them, because you never look them in the eye, right? And then I just wonder if I'm going to die today, like by getting shot, because you can hear the hammer of a pistol sometimes.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and but my whole thing would be like, you're here for your mates. Well, I wouldn't say mates, but you're here for you guys and whatever and stuff like that. So, you know, we have to control the situation.
Definitely.
You know, you're here, bruh. You're watching it, man. You're on set, but you're too close.
I'm sure you see.
Or you're too rowdy. And I was that guy who had to corral that.
Yeah.
Not a good place to be.
not an easy job at all.
Oh, definitely not an easy job.
And you don't want to upset the wrong people, you know.
Well, no, exactly. So you got to be as friendly as you can, but it's like, let me do my job, bro.
That's right. That.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not trying to have a fight with you. Let me do my job, bro.
Because an entourage, you know, I mean, the artist could be fine with you, but the entourage, you know, sometimes you can have problems with these peoples.
You got to imagine, you grow up in the neighborhood, and then all of a sudden you get a record contract.
Yeah.
Right? And like, you know, and they have to like, yo, I'm down with my boys. I haven't changed. So you get not just 2 people, you get like 20. Right? Because they invite the whole neighborhood, kind of stuff like that. You know, and they kind of like talk to them, but then they go back on set and everything. You know, if they could be used like as a party or dancing, you use that.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they like to be indoors where those people can't actually get to them. Just stay outside, man. I'll be out soon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And stuff. So I guess with me having crazy ideas where it's like, okay, there's going to be costumes or there's going to be this and that and everything, you know, that's all cool. But then I can remember shooting under a bridge in Brooklyn with a big smoke machine and everything, and then everybody's like, okay, let's get that, you know, crowd shot we really don't want to use.
Yeah.
Slow it down, right? Yeah, there's a lot of shots like that in videos.
So now, okay, so when you came to Liverpool,
Yeah.
yeah. So I want you to explain just a little bit before then, that's from the time when you came to Liverpool and then coming into Liverpool, if you could follow up with that.
So, like, the thing about it was that
Like, what led you to come here even? Like,
so I mean, I haven't done the interview where I talk about the late 90s, because it's like, that's not something for public consumption. But let's just say I got bored, right, and everything, and I'm like, I was always asked to write another treatment, do another video, and I was like, back the truck up, right, always, and I had all the thing, but you could get bored with that. I know some people might say, no, you can't, but you can. And in that aspect, I was really looking for a change and everything. And so I met a woman who become my partner. She was from here. And, like, I met her online. And, like, I just, I guess I did a runner, right? I just felt like I don't know crap about Liverpool. I don't know crap about England. Because from an American standpoint, like, we don't really see any of this that is here. Right, it's not on your telly. It's not in the movie. Right. Yeah. As far as English actors, you see Hugh Grant, James Bond movie, right? Yeah. Mary Poppins, right? So we don't know what it's like over here. So it really feels like you go over a hill, or you go over the flat Earth and stuff. You end up somewhere else. So in that aspect is that, like, coming here, I just thought I could do what I do here. But I came in 2000, and in 2000 was like, I call it the digital implosion, because I shot in film, right? So I was a filmmaker shooting in film. But then when I came over here, right, and I'm looking for work, right, and I have a show reel with Wu-Tang, everybody was scared and intimidated, because it was kind of like, oh, we can't have him here because he'll be better than us. People want him, and they won't want me, and it's my company. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm just wanting to work. Yeah. I want to be creative. So then in that fashion is that I'll go, okay, I want to do something, and it's like, where's the film house? Where can I transfer film, or where can I do that? And it's like, film, what's that? I'm like, where am I? Yeah, am I on a farm in Wales or something? Yeah. I mean, so, like, the whole deal was everything was digital now, right? PAL C-Cam and all this other kind of stuff. So all the skills I had became, like, non-existent. Imagine, like, you're a superhero in one place, and that, like, I'm just gonna say, imagine if you're Superman in one place, and all of a sudden you get hit with the red sun and you have no powers. Right? Yeah. And stuff. So then what I had to do is that, like, people wouldn't hire me, couldn't even do what I could do anyway. So I had to actually relearn everything. So I had to go all the way down to the bottom and start up again. So that's when I decided to become a teacher, because it seemed to be easy to do that, to take the courses and all that kind of stuff. And then I could still, like, teach film. But then I just became like, I'm going to just train the next people. Yeah. Right? There's no harm in doing that, is it? So, like, in that fashion is I started doing that. But I met an artist here that I want to mention, like Kof, who was young Kof then.
Oh, yeah.
And everything. And, like, I just thought he was phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like, even though I met him as a shy lad at SAE, I think it was. Yeah, the School of Audio Engineering. And, we started making videos together. Me, him, and Yao Owusu, who's now, like, playmaker, head of, like, music here in Liverpool and stuff like that. Yeah. And we did a lot of great, videos together for a couple of years and stuff. To the point where they actually got on back. We go back to MTV. It's like, and all of this other kind of stuff. So it was kind of like, but it got to a point where I know we're in the company together, right? But my son's born. Yeah. I am teaching and stuff like that. But, I mean, I should make money doing this and stuff like that. And I wasn't. Yeah. So it just became time to, like, move on and, like, figure things out.
And also, as far as the movie squad, we explain about your movie that's...
I mean,
to know a bit about how did they begin the movie squad, if you explain.
Well, pretty much. I mean, it begins with Big Condo, right?
Condo,
Where we are, Big Condo Online and Big Condo Records. I mean, like what I like to say there is that, like I said, I like being Tonto, right? Yeah. So, way back then when I was doing code videos and stuff like that, I met an artist named Rosie Rothschild, right?
Oh yeah,
and he hates that story, but I was trying to put together a music show at the Philharmonic called Liverpool's Own and everything with Yao and all that, and Garth Dallas and everything, and Rosie didn't make the cut, right, to be in the show, but he was memorable enough to remember.
Okay.
So so over the years, oh yeah, there's that Rosie guy again. Oh yeah, he's doing this and stuff like that, and everything. So finally, when we were back here into the present day, he said to me, he sat me down and said, "Hey, listen, I like what you're doing, and I want to do it together and stuff like that."
Yeah.
And so that's how Big Condo got started.
Been going for 6 years. What coming on is it?
Well, we're up to our 6th birthday, but I think that's the 6th birthday for Big Condo Records. I mean, Big Condo as it exists now has been about 3 to 4 years. Okay. You know what I mean? But that's when we got together, and so I've been doing these podcasts and everything because I was doing so many films in the community, so many music videos and all that kind of stuff and everything. So I decided this was the new thing. It was big in America.
Yeah.
Right. This was the new thing. And so I've been doing here. And then so we only have a few shows. We had too many shows before, but it was just like what works.
Yeah.
So this show, your show, Discovering, one of our best shows on the air in season 3, but it has a huge fan base. So thank you, fan base. And everything, and we're hoping to build Movie Squad to that. So Movie Squad is my pet passion project, just like Discovering is yours. And it's just about geek essentials. It's about a panel show talking about movies and everything and having a good laugh.
Yeah.
But now our numbers are rising, and so it's a good, beautiful thing. So thanks for mentioning that. And then also too is last thing I want to mention, because I know time and stuff, is that we're also doing courses here.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. So what we got coming up based upon what we talked about is we have 2 new courses that are starting around the 20th of September, which one is a music video workshop.
Yeah.
Because we figure call it a workshop and not a course, right? Okay. And everything where I call it the doing videos the Wu-Tang way, right? Oh, great. Where basically what I just said in this whole conversation. You're going to be people who take this course. You're going to be learning how to do treatments, which people don't know. That's a very important thing. Learn about pitching, because you got to sell it to the artist, because I love it when the artist goes, dude, you're in my head. It's of course, I listen to your song. And then you're going to make the videos and everything, and you'll be guided and nurtured in doing that. And so you come out of it with a show reel, right? But then I thought that when we created that, I thought what was really important was what we have now is a lot of female directors.
Okay.
In Hollywood, you've seen it more and more. Greta Gerwig and all this other kind of stuff. Where you're just seeing a lot more, but you don't see a lot of around, well, how do I become a female director? Or am I the daughter of somebody? Or am I famous? Is that why she's directing and everything? So I just thought that what we'll do is create a course where we would just guide, women into making film or video, right, and everything and stuff, and put them through their paces to help develop their style and technique and everything. So it's very specific because that's just for women, while the music video course is for everyone and everything. So so please, if you see that, still a chance to sign up for it because it is limited spaces and stuff.
Excellent. I've just got one last question, just like I ask everybody.
Yeah.
The importance of African history, Chase, from what you've grown up in, what you might have learned about African history, we didn't have a history from the beginning. What would you say, from being born in America, we're all dumbed down no matter where we are, but as far as education of black history before slavery, did you hear anything when you were younger about African building the pyramids and, you know, all the great things, not aliens building them, but, you know.
So, that's a damn good question. So, as an American, basically, again, I'm a Philistine, right? So, I grew up on the Ten Commandments. Charlton Heston is Moses, right?
Yeah.
Not true, right? White people built the pyramids. Not true, right?
Or aliens.
Well, aliens. I'm not going to say that's not true.
Okay.
But my point is that because it was the 70s and it was like the Black Panther movement, we had a lot of education around Black history. I mean, I know who W.B. Du Bois was, Sojourner Truth. I know that Alexander Moss is Black. I know all of those things. I've learned that since I was a kid because I went to a pro-Black Catholic school and everything like that. But I will say that college or everything else didn't teach me that. I had an argument with an art teacher in college about how come all of these, Africans or Egyptians, how come they're painted brown and everything? And she's like, well, that's the only color they had. Well, no, okay. How come the women are painted white? Well, next question. How come that is really dark black, like Luke Wright Bronze? You got to stop asking these questions. So education was bad when it came to, because, you look at museum statues and their faces look like me, the wide nose, the kinky hair and all that. So when it came down to educating myself or through the school system, it wasn't happening. So when your show came about, and Patrick Graham, Roz Congo, I was like totally floored. And I'm an old man learning something new every day.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think you're ever too old to learn something new every day.
Definitely.
But it's a shame that even though I didn't have certain Black education growing up, that it's not in schools because it doesn't do your mental stability any good. To think of yourself as less than.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So that's why I was like the whole slavery remembrance. As a filmmaker, I was involved in filming several different things, but I was just kind of like, why are we perpetuating something that is negative and not focus on the Black excellence that I'm starting to learn now and everything, and it needs to be in schools, and now it is starting to happen, which I applaud, but in that fashion is that I didn't know any of that before. I'm learning it and I'm still trying to educate. I'm loving that you're educating people every time you do a show and all of that kind of stuff. So that's my understanding.
Appreciate giving me the opportunity to be able to do that also, though.
Well,
that's very important.
Bro, nothing to appreciate, because I think that, what you're saying is, I've been to Egypt, Luxor, 3 times.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And, I haven't even learned anything you're talking about it. And when you're talking about indigenous tribes, last thing I'll say on this is that, it was kind of like hardcore where people go, hey, your skin is like me. You're like my brother. And I'm like, how's that?
Yeah.
But, I can see why people want to gravitate, to that and everything. But it left maybe a negative taste. But this is also before I've learned more about the indigenous tribes.
Right.
In your thing. And so now I have to, next time if I do make it, I have to have a different mindset. Which you had developed. So, that's what
well, you know what? I've really enjoyed today. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a long time waiting to interview you, Chase. And like I say, I appreciate you even giving me the opportunity, because certain other people wouldn't give you the opportunity. We have to be realistic. Who does us favors and that. But hopefully, maybe we can do a part 2 in the future.
Yeah, man. I mean, hopefully, when it comes down to the courses, I mean, obviously, I'm hoping that people, think about there's a lot more into it. I mean, I would love to be able to talk about some like specific stuff and everything like that. But then, I mean, I do appreciate being able to talk about it. So thank you.
Well, I want to thank you anyway. I'm your host, James DeBow, on Discovering Season 3 on Big Condo Online, and we're going to end it out today. But thank you very much again, Chase, and thank you for the opportunity for allowing me to have Discovering on my show.